With our top focus on the coronavirus, in the early days in Wuhan, getting a COVID test was so difficult that residents compared it to winning a lottery. For the few who did, the tests were often faulty, resulting in false negatives. Now, an Associated Press investigation has found that the widespread test shortages were caused largely by secrecy and cronyism, that toward China's top disease control agency. The flawed testing system prevented scientists and officials from seeing how fast the virus was spreading. Another way in which China fumbled its early response to the virus. Reports have now found that China's CDC gave test kits designs and distribution rights exclusively to three then obscure Shanghai companies, all companies with which officials had personal ties. The investigation states that the deals took place within a culture of backdoor connections. Sources mentioned that the Shanghai companies Genodux Biotech, Witui Biotechnology and Biogerm Medical Technology paid the China CDC for the information and the distribution rights. None of the first three diagnostic companies tapped to make test kits for the biggest pandemic in a century were well known in the industry. It's unclear whether or not the money went to specific individuals. In the meantime, CDC tried to prevent other scientists and organizations from testing for the virus with their own homemade kits. The National Health Commission told Wuhan hospitals to send virus samples only to labs under its authority. It also endorsed only test kits made by the Shanghai companies. Faulty measures meant that not a single new case being reported by Chinese authorities between January 5th and 17. This comes even though retrospective infection data shows that hundreds were infected. The apparent lull in cases meant restrictions needed to curb the virus were not imposed. Now, when tests from the three companies arrived, many did not work properly, with most showing inconclusive results or false negatives. Technicians were hesitant to use test kits that would later prove more accurate because the CDC did not endorse them. With few and faulty kits, only 1 in 19 infected people in Wuhan was tested and found positive. Others without tests or with false negatives were sent back home, where they could have spread the virus. One study estimates that intervention 2 weeks earlier could have reduced the number of cases by 86%. Faulty test kits and secret deals are among a series of missteps by China that facilitated the virus's spread through Wuhan and across the world undetected. Other reports have earlier showed how top Chinese leaders delayed warning the public and withheld information from the WHO. In a pandemic that has now infected more than 64 million people and killed almost 1.5 million.